The Epigeum development process is very rigorous and it involves a lot of different stakeholders to ensure that we get their input throughout the development of our programs. We start by spending a good few months researching the potential subject area, getting to know the drivers and really speaking to institutions to find out about the challenges that they're facing in the area and their training needs. We also invite a lead advisor who's a renowned figurehead and expert in the field to work with us to really help us shape the programme.
Epigeum's collaborative development process is a really excellent way of developing an academic programme because it takes the skill and the expertise that the academics have and gives an opportunity for them to discuss, to reflect, to share ideas, to bring best practice to bear and really to shape the programme into something that reflects diversity of different approaches.
We then invite institutions to join the development group, and whilst we're doing that, the publishing team is commissioning the authors and reviewers that are going to join the programme and help us develop it. When all that is done, we take it to a workshop known as the development group workshop, which is when all the institutions come together to really review those plans in depth.
We get to share the experience amongst multiple different users from multiple different universities. We get their experience and their knowledge, and that is inputted into the course, which means that our courses are of a much higher quality than they would be if we worked with an individual institution on its own, or if we were to try and create this without the input of the institutions.
It's having that opportunity to interact with people from universities and to act with practitioners, supervisors who are actually practicing and receive their ideas and receive their feedback.
The main benefits for an institution joining our development group process is that they get to share the costs with other institutions, so they get a course that is much cheaper for them to pay for than it would be if they were to create something themselves. They also get to share knowledge and experience with other institutions, which means that the course ends up being of a higher quality than it would be if we were to produce it ourselves or if an individual institution was to produce it themselves. And so at the end of the day, they have a course that is cheaper for them and better quality than it would be if they were to work on their own.
The collaboration, particularly for these programs, has been the absolute highlight for me. I'd never done anything like that before, and I remember thinking if we only could develop curriculum like that across universities in Australia. It was just the whole way we did it, working with others and so on.
One of the other benefits of being a part of the development group process is that members of the development group get to share experiences and talk about subjects that they're really passionate about with colleagues from other institutions. They learn a lot, and the main thing that they tell me is that they really enjoy the process of coming together and collaborating on a course.
Well, this is the second one that I've collaborated on, and my experience on both of these programs has been very positive because, as I say, I am a specialist in doctoral education. It's having that opportunity to interact with people from universities and to act with practitioners, supervisors who are actually practicing and receive their ideas and receive their feedback.
And the things you take for granted at home, wherever home is, you just assume that's the way it is, and then someone says, no, we don't say it that way at home. Oh, right, okay. So I think the collaboration's been, for me, the highlight.
Having the opportunity to shape, to inform and to influence the development of online training modules is a real bonus and an asset.
What can also be really helpful from the workshops is to find out more about the experiences of different universities.
We decided to collaborate with Epigeum because we've had several Epigeum products in the past, and we found that the products have been really useful in terms of improving practices at the university, and people have engaged with those well.
My institution decided to collaborate on this development group because we had previously subscribed to an earlier edition and we found it really rewarding, really valuable for our academics, and so we really, as part of our broader commitment to this area, we really wanted to make sure that it was even more valuable and more relevant.
Collaboration is genuinely really at the heart of how we develop Epigeum courses, and the development group workshop is invaluable for us.
My experience of participating in an Epigeum working group has been really positive. It's been really interesting and useful to meet a number of counterparts at other institutions, and all of those people that I've interacted with have been really friendly, welcoming and open. We've had a lot of really constructive discussions, and there's been lots of opportunity to air your different opinions in a really sort of friendly environment.
The area that we're working on is something that's kind of neglected in a lot of higher education discussions, and so I think everyone's just really excited to have the opportunity to spend 2 days focusing on this, and so we're getting some really, really fascinating conversations out of it.
We'll then go away and we'll work with the authors and the reviewers to refine that material and to write the first drafts of each of the modules. So we may come back to the development group and ask for a bit of extra input, get them to look at a couple of little samples along the way to see if we're heading in the right direction. But the next big stage is really the alpha review stage, and that's the chance when they get to see the online interactive versions of the draft modules. Roughly 1 month before publication, we'll give them a preview of the final courses so that they can start planning their implementation, thinking about how they're going to roll out the training and start planning that. And then on publication, we'll be in touch with the final files.